There's a lot riding on this new fighter jet. What about its stealth, speed, maneuverability, and precision? And does the T-50 compare to the American F-22 Raptor? Some skeptics say it's hardly cutting edge, marketed as a fifth-generation fighter for the price of a fourth-generation plane.
It will most likely have a market, especially for those nations that can't afford or cannot buy, because of political reasons, the American alternative.
Aircraft make up about half of Russia's total arms exports, with the most popular models the well-known MiG fighters and the Sukhoi. Sales of planes have helped tide the defense industry during the hard times of the 90s. And with Russia recently announcing its biggest rearmament campaign since Soviet times, these are heady days for the country's military-industrial complex. It's hoped the new infusion of cash from the government will revive the industry. This year, the Russian Air Force is celebrating its 100th anniversary, looking back at its formidable feats in engineering and fighter technology. But the challenge is the future. The defense industry is not what it once was. The military has struggled over the last 2 decades, failing to come up with fresh designs, producing less of its own weaponry, increasingly becoming an importer of arms from France, Israel, Italy. The preference, of course, is self-reliance on its own domestic defense industry. Concerned about geopolitical vulnerabilities, Russia now looks to modernize.
The official Russian doctrine talks about everything, about a possible threat coming from the United States. China is, of course, a partner, but still it's also seen as a potential threat too, though most likely right now Japan is seen as a bigger threat. Then there's instability in Central Asia, potentially. There's Turkey, there's Iran.
So it's full speed ahead. At least that's the great hope. But questions remain over whether the engineers of today can create the same sturdy, agile fighters from the past. If successful, there'd be much to celebrate. It would mark the revival and new competitiveness of the Russian defense industry. Melissa Chan, Al Jazeera, Moscow.